So stressful, I didn't lose my job because I was a bad nurse. I didn't lose my apartment because I couldn't afford it. And I didn't almost lose my life because of bad luck. It started with a man, and I didn't realize until it was too late that every time I laid next to him, something was being taken from me. At first it was subtle, bruises I couldn't explain, extreme exhaustion, like my body wasn't mine anymore. Then it escalated. I started bleeding at random times, but only after seeing him, flu-like symptoms, brain fog so intense I couldn't function. And I'm a nurse. I know when something is wrong, but I stayed because on the surface, he was everything. Charismatic, magnetic, ambitious, the kind of man everyone noticed, the kind of man I fell for. But while I was falling for him, my life was quietly collapsing. And the scariest part, I didn't understand why. Not yet. Before I met him, my life was exactly where I wanted it to be. I was working at one of the largest hospitals in New York City, living in Midtown Manhattan, financially stable, independent. My apartment felt like a sanctuary in the middle of chaos. My friends, solid, loyal, always around. Weekends were filled with restaurants, events, laughter. I was happy, genuinely. Then I met him, and everything about that first encounter felt intentional, like it was supposed to happen. He had this presence about him, confident, smooth, almost hypnotic. He told me he was an aspiring rap artist and invited me to a battle in Brooklyn the same night we met. And I went. The crowd loved him. And I did too. We talked for hours after that, about dreams, goals, the future. It felt natural, effortless, deep, like I had known him longer than I actually had. But looking back now, that connection, it wasn't what I thought it was. It didn't happen all at once. That's what made it so dangerous. It was gradual, easy to ignore at first. But the pattern was there. Every time we were intimate, something in my body would shift. The bleeding, the exhaustion, the random bruising. I'd wake up feeling like I had been through something I couldn't remember. Then came the mental fog. I couldn't focus at work. Simple tasks felt overwhelming. And that scared me because I was always sharp, always on point. Then one day, something happened that I still can't explain. One of my patients, an older woman I had grown close to, looked at me and said, "Whoever you're dealing with, he's not right for you. If you don't leave him, your life is going to go downhill." I had never told her anything about him. Nothing. So how did she know? I laughed it off. Told myself it was just coincidence. But that wasn't a coincidence. That was a warning. And I ignored it. Not long after that, everything started falling apart. The turning point, losing everything. My performance at work dropped. I couldn't think clearly. I was making mistakes. And in my field, that's not something you can afford. Eventually, I lost my job. And that was just the beginning. My finances collapsed quickly after that. Bills piled up. I couldn't keep up. I lost my apartment. The same place that once felt like my safe space, gone. I had no choice but to move back in with my parents upstate. And that broke me because I had built a life for myself. And now I was back at square one. But it didn't stop there. My friends, people I had known for years, they disappeared. No calls, no check-ins, nothing. I felt completely alone, like something had isolated me on purpose. And that's when the depression hit. Heavy. I could barely get out of bed, couldn't find a job, couldn't find motivation, couldn't find myself. It was like I was being stripped, layer by layer. And I still didn't understand why. I went to doctors, multiple, blood work, tests, evaluations. Everything came back normal. But I didn't feel normal. I felt like I was slowly disappearing. Out of desperation, I started searching for answers outside of medicine. And one night, scrolling online, I came across a spiritual page, and everything they were describing was me. Exactly. That's what led me to seek out a spiritual practitioner, something I had never done before, but I was desperate, and what they told me changed everything. They said the man I was dealing with had placed something on me, something meant to drain me, bind me, control my energy. I didn't even fully understand what that meant at the time, but my body did, because everything they said lined up with what I had been experiencing. They gave me a solution, a 14-day cleansing, spiritual baths, herbs, oils, affirmations, and I used the last of my money to do it. Because at that point, I had nothing left to lose. On the 4th day, everything escalated, fast. I had blocked him on everything, cut all contact. Or at least I thought I did, because somehow he found my parents' house 3 hours away from New York City. I saw him outside, and my heart dropped. He was yelling, demanding I come outside, agitated, desperate. Then he fired a gun into the air, right there, on my parents' lawn. My neighbors were watching, people I had known my entire life, and I was humiliated, terrified, frozen. My father called the police immediately. He recorded everything. My mom was holding me while I cried, staring out the window in shock. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The police arrived and arrested him. And in that moment, something clicked. This wasn't normal behavior. This was desperation. Like he was losing something he needed and couldn't get it back. That night, we prayed hard. And for the first time in a long time, I felt a sense of protection. I continued the cleansing. Every night, even when I didn't feel like it, speaking life back into myself, praying, visualizing, releasing, and slowly things started shifting. My energy came back, the physical symptoms faded, my mind cleared. By the 14th day, I felt like myself again, stronger even. And then something unexpected happened. My friends started reaching out again, apologizing, wanting to reconnect. It was like whatever had been blocking everything was gone. I found a new job as a nurse at a family practice near my parents' home. And I started a cake business, something I had always dreamed of. And it took off quickly. My life didn't just go back to normal. It got better, more aligned, more peaceful. What I went through taught me something I'll never forget. Not every connection is safe. Not every person who feels good is good for you. You have to pay attention to patterns, to changes in your body, to warnings, especially the ones that don't make sense at the time, because sometimes those are the ones meant to protect you. And more than anything, stay spiritually grounded, stay connected to God, because when I couldn't understand what was happening, He still saw everything, and He still pulled me out of it. If you connected with this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you have a similar story of spiritual warfare and would like story featured on Spiritual Warfare Anonymous, send your story to the email address provided in the bio. Until next time, bye!